First, our breaking news story. Russia and China have vetoed a UN Security Council resolution on Syria. The European-backed draft called on Damascus to end its crackdown on protesters or face targeted measures. But Moscow and Beijing said this could open the door to a Libya-style military intervention. RT's Marina Portnaya has the latest from New York.
Russian ambassador to the United Nations, Vitaly Churkin, said the draft was too one-sided. He described the resolution as a confrontational approach taken by the European delegation and against the peaceful settlement to the crisis. Now, this draft resolution was proposed by France with the support of Portugal, the UK, and Germany. But the one part of the text that many countries seem to have disagreed with was that called for Syria to comply with the resolution within 30 days. And if it had not complied, then the Council would, quote, consider its options, including unspecified quote, measures. Many council members, including China, Russia, Brazil, South Africa, interpreted these vague terms as leaving the door open to sanctions. Now, of course, Russia is one of many countries that has been opposed to international sanctions against Syria. Ambassador Churkin says Moscow believes the violence should be stopped through internal reforms and political dialogue, not external sanctions or military intervention, such as the case of Libya.
The draft resolution, which was not passed today, was based on an entirely different philosophy, the philosophy of confrontation. We cannot agree with its one-sided accusations against Damascus. We believe the threat of implementing sanctions against the Syrian government is unacceptable. This approach contradicts the principle of a peaceful settlement of the crisis based on a common Syrian national dialogue. Our proposals and the phrasing of the unacceptability of a foreign military intervention were not taken into account. And this, considering the well-known events in North Africa, can only be alarming. The weak wording of proposals to the opposition and the absence of a appeal to them to dissociate themselves from the extremists is also alarming.
Brazil, India, South Africa, and Lebanon abstained from voting on the resolution, but it was the United States that voiced extreme disappointment that the Security Council did not ultimately adopt the resolution. Moving forward, Russia and China said that they will be working on a resolution together that they say will be more balanced in the case of Syria. Now, we do know that some council members wanted not only the Syrian government condemned for the violence, but also a condemnation against all the anti-government protesters that may have been inflaming the violence that has been breaking out over the course of 6 months. But that is a measure that the Europeans did not want included in this resolution. Brazil had noted that had the sponsors waited a little bit longer before a vote was called, divisions could have possibly been bridged within the Security Council. But as mentioned, Russia and China said that they will move forward to try to come up with a more balanced resolution on Syria.
Marina Portnaya reporting from New York. Now, the Syrian ambassador was given the floor in New York after the Security Council vote. Bashar Jafari took the chance to have a go at Washington.
The U.S. has used the veto 50 times to protect Israel, and it continues to threaten to use the veto power. This could be considered partaking in genocide.
The Commons saw the entire U.S. delegation headed by Susan Rice walk out of the meeting in protest. The Syrian envoy was referring to America's stance on the Palestinian bid for full recognition at the UN. The White House says it will veto any resolution to grant statehood, saying that such a move can only come through direct talks between Israel and the Palestinians.